Now,
All right.
you've got some news for me.
Somewhat?
You've got some news for me.
Yes, I do. I have a response from engineering, and as I explained before regarding this one, they are going to, take your input into, uh, they'll put it into use because they are still working to resolve that issue, and that is the current status is that they are still working on resolving the inaccuracies of screen times usage report.
And in the meantime,
And
so
other
go ahead.
and the other issues were regarding uh, screen time turning off. Once you enabled the schedule, did it continue to remain on overnight?
Well, depending on the senior advisor I speak to, I get different thoughts on what to do. So, when I was speaking to you, it was turning on, actually, was turning off at midnight. Now that I've put it on a schedule, which you suggested, what it does now is it turns off at noon. So there you go. It never stays
Okay.
on. Not only does it never stay on, which is one a problem, two, not all the apps go into downtime or enter downtime, which I've emailed you about. And so that is something that you need to respond to, yes?
Okay. So regarding apps not going into downtime, um, so one thing that they did mention is that down screen time does not control all aspects of an app. It controls it as far as the user is concerned and disabling the ability to use the app on your side. Screen time is not it does not inhibit the operating system of the app as far as its accessing of the app or the app's usage. It's only there to prevent the user.
That's right. So here's the thing, I understand that. So when I put it in downtime, I expect everything to go in downtime, and then I decide what I don't want to put in downtime. I understand what you just said. I have the control to say, okay, I want five apps to not be, or five apps to bypass downtime. That's not what's happening. The control has been taken out of my hands. So, apps
Okay,
go,
and
go ahead.
so you're trying to put certain apps into downtime, and other apps are not supposed to be. And how is it behaving?
Okay, let's start from scratch. Open my Mac, I turn Wi Fi off, I go to screen time, I put the Mac, not an app, I put the Mac in downtime. Immediately, some apps will go in downtime and some will not. So, how do I get everything to go in downtime? And they vary actually. And remember, I'm not using the apps.
Okay, all right. So you're trying to get it to put everything into downtime.
Well, everything that Apple is allowing when I click on downtime. I want to see, okay, for example, let's say I test it out. I want to test it. Right now, I will put everything in downtime. Okay, I'll um, turn downtime off, and then I'll turn downtime on. Okay, then I'll turn it off again. I want to see what apps will go in downtime and what apps will bypass downtime. And there's a significant number of them that bypasses downtime. So the question becomes again, what apps should bypass downtime, if any?
If downtime is off or on,
I just opened the Mac. I put Wi-Fi. I am not. Wi-Fi is off. Everything is turned off. Bluetooth off. Wi-Fi off. downtime is on. With downtime on, we've discussed this before. With downtime on, apps bypass downtime.
Okay. Apps bypass it in what way? Like you're able to still use them, or
Okay, I thought, okay, boy, I so detailed everything in that information for engineering, but I want to go back to engineering in a minute. We're still talking about downtime. What I mean by bypass downtime is when an app is in downtime, apps in the dock show as darkened. Yes?
apps in the dock.
Yes.
They show the symbol over them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they sort of, yeah, they've darkened, they've gotten to the background. They're not in the foreground, right? Fine.
Right.
But when I put the Mac in downtime, when I test on, off, and I put the Mac in downtime is on, a number of apps will not go in downtime. I will never go in downtime. They are. And I have them right here. I'm looking at them right now. My Mac is in downtime. Wi-Fi is off. I'm looking at them right now. Oftentimes it's Mail and Safari. Definitely always Home, Siri, Mission Control, Find My, System Preference, sometimes QuickTime. Keychain is never in downtime. Same with System Information sometime, and Migration Assistant never goes in downtime. So those are the ones that are there right now, not in downtime.
Okay. So let's see here. All right, so I guess at this point, so I can screen share and see what it is you're seeing and referring to.
No, I can't screen share right now. I am outside. I can't screen share right now. This is what we talked about the last time, and I sent you a whole bunch of screenshots about it as well. Did I not? Hold on. No, I did not send you screenshots about it. I could do that. You know what? If you don't mind, I am going to open Stickies right now. And I'm going to write down exactly what engineer says about the matter of screen time. Can you say that back to me, and I'm going to write it down? I want to make sure I understand.
Write down what?
What engineering response to the information sent to them.
So the response was just what I mentioned, that they are aware of the issue, and then they asked for further clarification on the reason, on what's going on with downtime turning off at certain times, and then they asked for further information about the packets and the background activity.
Hang on, sorry.
But they also, just to clarify, we're not allowed to transmit or send out the responses from engineering.
That's okay. That's okay. No, I just want to understand what it is that they're saying. Okay, so they are aware of the issue. The issue being
that the usage, the general issue for usage. That's why I was saying that we have to have a very concise information that we give to engineering. If we give them things that cover multiple topics, they will just reject it. They will reject the escalation. Or they'll provide us with only information regarding the first topic. because they can only do one thing at a time, and they are very diverse groups that handle each and every issue. So they don't cross over. They have us focus on one thing at a time only.
Okay, hold on. So I thought when I sent them the 1 day documentation, full documentation of how to use the Mac, that was specifically what they asked for, nothing else. And downtime was what I used on that 1 day.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
it wasn't.
So,
go ahead.
and regarding what we sent, they said that basically that they're aware of that issue and they're going to be using the information you provided to improve and correct any issues with the usage and screen time.
So they are aware of the issue, and they will use the information to send a patch, to send a patch or something.
Right. Correct. Anytime that they give us that kind of standard response, it means that they're working on it. They're aware of it, and they take any of the information we provided and they use it to correct the problem, better understand it.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so I understand that part. So they're aware of the issue, which is not news to me. So they had me collect the information, which I've done. And so I'm back to square one, whereby I am sitting here with a computer I have no control over, and I have to wait for a patch, and God knows when the patch is going to come, and that we have already talked about. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I'm not sure what you kind of have a myriad of different things that kind of revolve around screen time and downtime. And I'm just wondering, what is the underlying, like, what behavior or what functionality are you trying to use? Is your objective to like prevent access on your computer, to kind of lock it down more? Is it to what is it that your underlying goal that you're trying to achieve, so that I can better understand what it is you're doing?
I've already said I have no control of the device. The Mac is in use when I did not use it. It shows usage when I did not use it. Things keep disappearing from my Mac constantly.
Things are disappearing from your Mac?
Correct. I've said that before. I've been saying that for a long time.
Right. Right. I mean, we talked quite a long time, so I can't remember all. I was trying to focus on the thing we needed to give information to engineering for.
Right.
I can't remember all of the symptoms.
That's okay.
Of the problem, but there's a few different things, because I remember based on what you explained to me, it sounded to me like it would be a good idea to back up the Mac with the data and do a reinstall.
Okay.
If there's other problems or behavior that is in general if it's not functioning properly, things that are obviously not right.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is to back up your data and then do a reinstall and then put your data back on there. Only your data. I would not do a full migration. Full migrations do tend to bring back the problem that you're having. If you bring back all apps, settings, etc. But if you were to bring back just your data,
mm-hmm.
like your user and data, and then reinstall the apps you need, and then set up your settings as you want, sometimes that can resolve the issue if you're getting any kind of an anomaly.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do that. Can you book an appointment for me with the Apple Store in Toronto?
Sure.
Thank you.
I may have the postal code.
M4T1C1. It would be at the Toronto Eaton Centre.
Okay, Eaton Center on Yonge Street.
Yes.
Okay, and the next reservation showing is Monday.
Monday's perfect. What time?
All right, what time would it be? We have a 3:45 is the first, but we do have times throughout the afternoon and evening, all the way until 7:45.
3:45 is good.
3:45. Okay. Would you like an SMS reminder?
No, I'm good. Can you send me an email confirmation?
Yes, you should get a confirmation as soon as I hit reserve. Which email address do you prefer to go to?
The Toronto.
Okay. And that was at which domain?
Gmail.
Okay. All right, I set that up for you. You should get an email as well. I would take a look at the email. It always gives some important information when you're going to visit an Apple store.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else that I can do for you today?
No, this is wonderful. Oh, by the way, actually, I wanted to ask you, are you getting my emails? I sent you some screenshots. Did you receive them?
I did. I did see the email. I did see the screenshots.
Did you see the screenshot that says performance checks are disabled?
Yes, I did. I inquired about that, and the answer I got was that we don't know. We don't have documentation on that. That kind of information is really going to come from our developer's website. That kind of stuff's not really publicly facing to the general public, not even to us.
Right.
So
Well,
I don't know the answers to those questions. But on our Apple developers site, more information is available there for the more technical stuff.
right. And just at face value, it just is concerning that performance. It's in plain English. Apple is so wonderful that it writes in plain English. Performance checks are disabled. There's no complication. It's clear. It's right there in black and white. Performance checks disabled. Very concerning. But we'll bypass it. Now, you saw the one where I said I was speaking to you on August the 9th, and Apple Remote Advisor changed. It disappeared from screen time, and it was and then a new thing showed up, a new process called Apple Support. You saw that one?
I do see that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So how can and I recorded it. You can how is it that an app is using the Mac, and then the usage simply disappeared in screen time? That app being Remote Advisor, which was legit. I spoke to you, and then it disappeared. How does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was replaced by Apple Support, if it reassociated it with that, or what. I mean, that would fall into the kind of the whole group of inaccuracies with the screen time statistics that I would hope that they are able to, give a little more accuracy and transparency with.
Okay, so when you say they, what do you mean?
The engineering, the people who are working on improving screen time and correcting the issues with usage statistics.
But they're not getting back to me though, right? I mean, they're done with me, right? They've taken the information I've gathered from them, and they're going to be using it to help the software. But am I expecting them to speak to me again?
They generally reach out beyond just responding to us. Sometimes they'll give us like a system-wide message regarding a particular issue and let us know the update, like this should be resolved as of such and such a time with such and such an update. But beyond that, they don't inquire further as to the nature of the problem.
But there will be a response, if I understand you correctly. There will be a response that from them saying the update is coming on such and such a date.
Sometimes to advisors. Sometimes.
Okay.
I've actually never seen that, but they do say that they can, and I know that they're trying to make things more transparent as of recently.
Right.
Just a little inside baseball. They're trying to follow up with more information whenever something is resolved. They're trying to update our reports, like the place where we initially report a problem. We all come together on a certain issue. We report it there in that place, and in that place, they're supposed to start giving us a little more feedback on when something is resolved. So that is, it's kind of internal. It's not really externally. I would just keep your device up to date is the recommendation we have.
All right, I'll do that. I'm going to go back to, because I was writing it down. You had said that, they're aware of the issue. They will use the info to correct the problem. And the issue is screen time showing incorrect usage, yes?
Correct.
All right, and then you said they asked for further clarification on downtime turning off.
They asked me to ask you about the downtime turning off, because by default it's not supposed to turn off at a specific time unless it's part of the schedule.
All right, because when it was turning off, it was not on a schedule. And then you asked me to put it on a schedule, and I've documented it that it turns off at noon, not at midnight anymore, at noon.
Okay.
So confirmed in the information I sent them, it was on and it turned itself off at midnight without being on a schedule. It's in the screenshots that I attached.
Gotcha.
Okay, and now there were other clarifications they asked for. Packets, something about packets.
Let me look back over there at it. So, the last thing was they stated that it seems that you mean to restrict access. It says, I'm just going to restrict access to the information that can be monitored. Yeah, what they really clarified was that there's no way to completely block an app. That's not the functionality. That's not the way that screen time functions. But it should restrict the access.
Okay, but hold on. What does that have to do with packets?
So the last thing they said, they quoted me regarding, what I said I was going to send them to know whether packets and other background data viewed in activity monitor should be prohibited by screen time. And honestly, I don't see the correlation of the first thing they responded there, but they did mention at the end that screen time does not block the app entirely. So whether there's background activity or data packets showing across the network, it doesn't prohibit that. That's not it doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't.
The app itself. So, the app itself still could work in the background or attempt. And one of the things you mentioned before was that you still see tiny bits of information, even when the network is disabled. And my thought on that, of thinking about it, was that it is potential. There is potentially the apps maybe trying per their schedule or whatever they normally do to send information, but actually it doesn't go out because if it is disabled, there is no communication. The network cannot allow communication with the actual hardware disabled.
Okay,
But if the apps
hold,
are
hold, hold,
trying
hold.
to
No, no,
send
wait. Let me pause you there. If the hardware is disabled, what hardware is disabled?
the Wi-Fi adapter,
Okay, so Wi-Fi adapter is disabled. Got it. Done. Okay. Wi-Fi it shows in my recordings. I documented Wi-Fi is off, Bluetooth is off. I did not sign in with my Apple ID. I do not use Family, and I do not use Cloud. Already document all of that. Hence the reason why I'm asking. You guys are telling me yes, you shut it down. It's a shutdown, but I'm saying that's not what's happening on the Mac. I put it on downtime. I turn everything off, but packets are still moving in and out of the Mac. How does that happen?
right? So as far as what it shows under the usage, and I looked at it, I saw the video with you, and what I was seeing was that it was showing like bits of data, like very small quantities. It wasn't showing megs or gigs or any large quantities. It was showing like very small amounts. And I'm just wondering if, and this is just me. I don't know the answer to that question, but if I was to guess, it would be maybe apps are trying to query whether they have the capability of sending information, but it's bouncing back, something like that, because it's small amounts. It's very small amounts, but it didn't reflect the way the behavior. It doesn't show the same behavior as when it's on. When it's on, large amounts in big bursts can show, but that's not how it looked when you had it on. It was just showing tiny little amounts, which maybe that's just when an app tries to send information, but it fails. I don't know.
All right. So the thing is, I have been documenting this for so long. So what I showed you is just a little bit of the magnitude of what I've documented. Okay, and the bits I show you is my summary of things that I have seen over time. So because Apple tells me, listen, you put your computer in downtime, you shut your computer down, nothing should come in and out. I'm thinking these are all Apple apps. Why can't they go in downtime? Why can't I put Apple apps in downtime? One, and why does downtime always turns itself off? And I tried both ways. The way I had it and then the way you suggested. Both of them. In both circumstances, downtime turns itself off.
Yeah, so downtime, it says right in the article regarding downtime, it's about scheduling periods. So the purpose of downtime is the scheduling periods during which you can use only the apps that you've allowed.
Right.
A downtime notification appears 5 minutes before downtime starts. After downtime starts, the app shows a message saying you've reached your limit on the app. And then you can click OK to close the app and honor the limit you set, or click Ignore Limit and choose 1 more minute, 15 minutes, or Ignore Limit for today. If
Good.
you've seen a screen time passcode, that's going to have to do with if somebody else put the limit on you. Yeah, generally downtime is the general purpose of downtime is usually minors, for restricting minors from wasting time doing something that's not homework and stuff like that. So.
Right. So the thing is, for me, because I've seen what's been happening on my Mac, and because I've already documented usage as per the console log, it shows that their usage when I did not use the Mac. Screen time told me 0 usage. Okay? But the logs told me, oh no, there's usage. Okay? On the day when I never used the Mac. So, I don't want to...
Was the Mac off?
It was off. It was turned off. I always power off. I yeah. I it's the story doesn't make it look. There's a problem. It's a big problem, I think. And the screen time speaks for itself. The console log speaks for itself. I'm not making this stuff up. Anyways, let me get to the this bit. When I wipe the Mac,
just to know,
yeah,
the console, the stuff you see in console, is not going to in any way necessarily correspond with what you see. Console captures everything that happens with the Mac. So even if you have something blocked, it doesn't prohibit the interaction between that application and the operating system. It would be picked up by console.
that's fine. The great thing about Apple Console is that it's very clear. The language is especially clear. Yeah, there's a whole bunch that I don't understand, but boy, the things that I understand are so clear. It tells me, and I sent it to engineering. It says the Mac has an external user when I have Wi-Fi off. It says clear English. So
Okay, but what does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I'm saying it says is
So
external
it's
user
not
one.
that clear.
Yes,
It's
external
not that
user.
clear. Yeah, I would go ahead and for something like that, I would probably go to the developer website because we don't have a way to interpret that, and engineering is not going to interact with us regarding something that's in
That's
the
fine.
console like that.
That's fine.
To me, although it seems clear, that to me is not clear. I don't know what an external user is. That's something that I mean, I would have to take a trade course to probably figure out what that actually is referring to.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So let's do this. I'm gonna wipe the darn thing. What should I expect after it's wiped?
Well, I mean, if you're having any any anomalies, I would definitely expect or anomalous behavior, things missing, disappearing, as you were saying. Those things for sure. I would hope that those things would be resolved. That is the most important thing. Whether it's going to benefit in any other way, I mean, we have a documented issue with screen time usage statistics. So those sorts of things, I don't expect in a clean install to resolve. But if you're getting other strange behaviors, I would check them and see how it's acting and whether it's improved.
All right. So you're telling me that the issue with screen time, downtime, that's all part of screen time. That's not going to be resolved once the computer is wiped.
Yeah, I don't know any reason. I mean, it's obviously not going to fix everything because there's an outstanding issue that is not being resolved by a clean install. So I don't suspect it's going to just miraculously make everything better there. I would still test it to see how it behaves,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's something that falls outside of usage statistics and the things that are in that family of unwanted behaviors, I would, then you can contact us regarding that specifically. But I would see how it goes because based on what you're describing, you've seen some pretty strange things, and in addition to your desktop, something happened that messed up your organization and that sort of thing. I don't know what caused that, so if you're having those sorts of issues, I would probably do a clean install.
All right, I'll do a clean install and then I'll get back to you and you can tell me. The only question I'm going to ask you after I do the wipe is this expected behavior or not? That's the only question I'll have for you. Okay? Oh, and by the way, the one that we had talked about from the very beginning, all processes are restricted. What happened with that issue?
With what?
All processes in Activity Monitor are restricted, but I didn't set any restriction.
Processes and Activity Monitor are restricted. I don't remember this. Is this a part of one of the screenshots?
I didn't send it to you in a screenshot, it. We had talked about it because it was one of the issues I had sent to Apple Chat when they send the call over to you. Because I'm looking at my
Okay.
activity monitor right now, and all processes, every single one, are restricted.
Oh, you're talking about that's right, the column. The
Yes.
column that says restricted.
Yes.
And that was under network and restrictions. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that didn't fall into that because that was too far outside of the topic that I was consulting engineering for. So yeah, I don't see any publicly facing information on that. I looked it up. I searched our system for it. I mean, just to be honest, a lot of the questions that you're asking, while that stuff is there, and if it's something is behaving unusually, we can inquire with engineering, and they may be able to provide an answer. But a lot of that stuff is stuff that might be in the user guide, but probably is going to be best found on the developer forums.
Well, every time I try to, I have so much problems with the Mac, and I don't even want to go into the details. So you're sending me to the developers forum to find out why all processes, 100% processes on my Mac, including Safari, are restricted. You don't know why they're all restricted, and you cannot solve it.
I mean, do you have the firewall turned on?
Let me see.
Because that would be one potential cause for processes being restricted that I can think of off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look it up in the user guide, that's what comes up: block connections to your Mac with a firewall.
So if it's
But
on, sorry, hold on. If it's on, that might cause the restrictions.
Just a guess, I don't know.
Okay, hold on. I'm turning it off right now. Hold on. Huh. And I'm clicking on my lock and it wouldn't open. Oh man, nothing works. I'm clicking on the lock to open privacy and security, and it will not unlock. Nope, it will not unlock. Hold on. All right. So system preference is frozen right now on my Mac. I cannot use it. Hold on. Close it. Opening it up again. Privacy and security. Okay, now I could get into it. So I unlock firewall, turn it off. I just turned it off. Okay.
And it's not something I recommend. It's not something I would recommend in the long term. I mean, if you want the protection of the firewall, then you would want it on. But you asked the question. I looked it up, and the only thing I came up with from our website was the firewall and blocking connection. So.
Well, I'm glad you looked
I
it
don't
up.
know the answer to that.
I'm glad you looked it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that because it's an important thing for me, because I see things running on my Mac that doesn't belong to me, and every time I try to shut them down, I can't. It says restricted. They come right back up again and again every single time.
Well, just so you know, that's a different thing. That's not happening because of a restriction. So the Mac and software that runs on the Mac, including personal apps that you may have, they have all kinds of sub processes that run that are required by the root application. And when they're turned off, if the application that initiated them is still running, it will reinitialize those processes if you disable them.
And that I am very well aware of. That I'm very well aware of. But I'm talking about things that should not be running on the Mac, like my Mac sending information to MDNS responder or sending information to Safari networking. I see tons of information, tons of data, lots of data going to Safari networking. I tried to quit it. It never can quit. I can't quit it at all. So, anyways, back to this here. And I don't want to quit essential processes, okay? I'm talking about basic things that should not be sending information on my Mac. I'm trying to shut them down. They will not shut down. Okay? Anyway, firewall is off now, but restrictions, all processes are still restricted.
Okay, so then that would not be the cause. So
Okay?
if you prefer to use the firewall, I would reinitialize it.
Yeah.
But let's see. Yeah, restricted doesn't even appear in this article. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the only thing we can do is, when there's a problem we can identify,
Mm-hmm.
then we can try to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things you're going to be able to find on your Mac that Apple support's not going to have an answer for.
Okay.
I mean, that's going to require independent research because we don't have. We try to make sure it works properly, and we will put things in. If they're not, we'll put in a report for engineers. But for the behavior and what shows what, and activity monitor console and so forth, we don't have all those answers. If it's not in the user guide, it's going to be something that's going to require a deeper source, and that's why I say like the developer website is going to have possibly more information.
So
But
actually, don't tell me now, but send me an email, please. And because I tried going to the developer's website, and I tried posting there, and my posting was never posted. I tried again and again, and it would not post from my Mac. It would not post at all. So send me an email, please, and walk me through exactly step by step as to how I'm going to be going to the developer's website, and what am I looking for, and where will I post, and how do I know it's posted. Okay, actually that's something I'm going to test out from this computer because it never worked before. Okay, and I'll
yeah, so let me see if I have any information about it. I do not know what information we have regarding developer.
Yeah.
I'm looking developer transition kit. I don't know what this is. Nope, that's not. Yeah, because AppleCare doesn't have. We don't have any real overlap. They have their own. They have their own support on the developer website. They have a completely isolated support for developer forums and the developer website. It's not associated with AppleCare. If you're having a problem with the developer site or with any aspect of that, they have their own help section, which prompts them to call you.
So they call me?
The developer support. They have their own support, basically.
Okay, I'll look into it.
That's separate from AppleCare. So if you've already signed up on there, then you can request support from them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will do that because I'm not getting a lot of help from engineering. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna bring up this note that I wrote. Okay, so the only thing they wanted to know, they asked for clarification, is just one thing, is on downtime turning itself off. That's the only thing. They did not want clarification on anything else.
Yes, that's the only thing that they wanted clarification on, and they wanted Yeah, they said something about, I don't know. I already read it. I have to look again. Yeah, they just didn't understand my question, basically. I asked them about downtime turning off at midnight, and they said it should not be turning off at midnight.
Right. That makes sense. It should not be turning off at midnight, and it should not be turning off at noon either. But it continues to turn off. Okay, not only that, every single time I open the Mac, downtime is disabled. Every single time.
Okay. Yeah. So for that falls under another thing that I would test after doing a clean install,
Okay.
because that's unusual behavior based on what they're telling me. They said that downtime does not have any limit or reset at midnight, so they don't understand my request. That's what they told me.
All right. So what we have, if you just stick with downtime, we have a computer who has a mind of its own. That's when I turn something off, it's turning its, or when I turn something on, it turns the something off.
Okay. So yeah, I would go ahead with a clean install and migrate just limited amount if
Okay.
possible, just the data.
So here's the thing, Reg, I never ever migrate anything. I never transfer anything. I never join a Wi-Fi when I set up the Mac. Okay, so I'm telling you now, I'm going to wipe it, and then we'll talk again. Let's talk maybe Thursday or Friday of next week. How about Thursday?
I'm not available on Thursdays on the
Right.
phone.
Friday?
I am available on Fridays though.
Okay. You're not, or you are?
I am, yes, on
am.
Friday.
What time works for you? This time, actually, 5 o'clock is perfect for me.
Okay.
So same time
Okay.
next week, 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Beautiful. I'll talk to you then.
All right.
Take care and thanks for your call. Have a good weekend.
No problem. You too.
Bye-bye.